Distinguished Toastmaster Brahm Memone.
Hello, everyone. So good to see you all. And thank you, Swati, for creating that poll. Really, that was Swati's idea to have a poll, and I really loved how you've answered the poll. Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, is people have said that engaged members is the key to the strength of a thriving club. So I'm just trying to see what else were the answers there. So it's too close, it's too small for my eyesight. So let me just peer in, okay? Meeting quality was 19%, strong leadership was 15, supportive. So second was meeting quality, but at 19% as compared to engaged members. But everyone does think, or most people do think that there's potential to thrive in every club. Okay, so we will be answering these questions. At least I will be sharing what I have done over the past 5-6 years during the pandemic. And while people have said the numbers are falling, and what is Toastmasters International doing? They're doing what they have always done. So that is the reason why I want to share why is Leadership Speak so successful, or any club that I've been in, suddenly they become very good at what they do. This is what I'm going to share. It's my experience. It is not Toastmasters International. I don't speak for Toastmasters International, but I am totally supportive of what Toastmasters International does. We have international presidents who visit our club all the time, or events like this all the time. And as you know, if you've been attending these events in the past, you've seen international presidents come and do a panel discussion, 3 or 4 of them together, right? You've seen that. And perhaps later on this year, we will have that as well in some of my projects at the end here. Okay, so I will disagree with if you said engaged members is a thriving club. That doesn't come first. First comes, I mean, if you say engaged members, but how would you create engaged members? That is the contention. And the only way to get engaged members is to create an experience that will get them engaged. And what creates an experience? Let's talk about if you go to a restaurant, right? And you know it's a busy evening, Friday, maybe Saturday, busy times for a restaurant in the evening. You enter the restaurant and there's a sign that says, please wait for the hostess to seat you. And you stand there, nobody's there. And then you do see the hostess come in and do something at the counter, but moves away, doesn't even look at you. How long will you going to stand in that line at the restaurant before you start looking at your cell phone and say, hey, maybe there's a restaurant next door and I'll go over there. There's a club next door and I will go there. Guests do that. So it's not the engaged members, it is quality of the club. It's the key. Quality of the club creates an experience, right? And that experience creates the engagement. And then when that engagement happens for the members and all the members are thriving and being on time and the meeting starts on time, which is all quality, that's when you get engagement. That's when guests come in and say, wow, this meeting is run effectively and efficiently. I want to join here. Most of the people that come to Toastmasters, initially, they don't come for social reasons. Initially, they come for, my boss told me, somebody told me, I have a wedding to attend, I have to give a speech, etc., etc., etc. My boss told me, this is the biggest one I hear over the years. My boss told me, go to Toastmasters, get better at communication if you want to get a promotion. That's it. So, any club can thrive. Any member can succeed if quality is present. But how does one create quality? Sure, I can say quality and we are done for the day, right? For the next 2 days, I'm done. Just like quality is the thing. But really, let's look at what really creates quality, okay? So let's first look at the performance numbers. Now, of course, People will love this because some people have already put a note. Hey, what's Toastmasters International doing? Why are they doing? What are they doing? Toastmasters International has been putting the same training. I've been a member for 30 years. Okay, 29 and something. Sometimes I forget. It's more than 29 years, almost 30 years. And they provide a basic managerial type of training. You've been to TLI or court training, officers training, most of you. Then your officers do a training, mentors do a training in the club, right? And it flows down, trickle down theory. It's always been there, but we have forgotten how to do that trickle down. And there's been members who were so used to the legacy program that when change happens, they don't like change. I was in the legacy program and it's changed many times. Just the legacy program itself changed many times. And then came, oh yeah, when I'm doing my hand like this, the thumb just goes up there. So ignore that. And then came pathways, and I love the first pathways, and they changed it just last year, the pathways, how it looks, and now we only have 6 pathways, and I love that as well. I love the program because it allows me to do what I'm doing right now, to talk to a large number of people. We have 100 people in this room. There's a lot of people on YouTube, already watching on YouTube. Let's see, 44 people are watching on YouTube, all right? And so on. So this platform allows me to do that. And as Aswathi has mentioned, when we started this project in 2022 for my DTM, we had over 1,000 people attend the event. That many people don't attend these events anymore. It used to be like a novelty, and people were curious. Now I put out all sorts of information. There's not much traction. So what does that tell you is it's nothing to do with the training. I've trained so many people. I've been in clubs that I've trained and been in, and as soon as I've left, they've sort of diminished. I've tried my best to do what they do. So it is about there's something that is really missing within Toastmasters mindset, each individual's mindset. We have to really look at the mindset. And every training that I've done in the past 1 year has always been about mindset. So in these 2 days, I will not be able to cover everything. Of course, I will give you the main gist of what makes my clubs succeed and what I do to get them to succeed, and how teams come together, how we create teams, and how we connect, and so on. Okay. So the total number of clubs was 15,000. Suspended and ineligible was 1,459 clubs. Net clubs 13,677. This is what we might start with. This is from the data dump that I have done. This is the data dump that I have done from Toastmasters International. I don't know if the final numbers came out today, or is it perhaps this week. If they haven't come out today, I haven't really checked today's final numbers for the past year. Plus, over 4,000 clubs need coaches. Now, this is the global number, of course. In District 86, it's the same thing. We lose clubs every year. We've been losing clubs for the past few years. I'm in District 86, which is in southwestern Ontario. It's just like many other districts around the world. It's the same thing. They're dwindling. I want to congratulate every district that's here or who had a Smedley's distinguished. Congratulations. You guys have done great. There's been club growth, net club growth, and net membership growth. Amazing. Thank you for putting in the effort and so on. But it's the sustainability. How are we going to sustain these clubs? That is the key question, right? So, oh yeah, there it is. The club coaches, 4,315 clubs. Okay, so Hannah, could you, for the participants, like we promised, if you are in the Zoom room, that we will give you notes and the PDF. So there's 2 handouts that Hannah will put in. Hannah, let me know when they're ready and put in. So now, of course, don't get distracted by the notes and the PDF. This is for your later on use, right? If you're looking at the notes and you will not hear what I have to say, You will want to replay this. It's live right now, but as soon as the live ends, you can go back and replay, or anytime in the future, go and replay it. It'll be available, and you can make more notes. If you sort of make more notes, and then if you come back early tomorrow, you'll be able to get in. If you're not, then you'll be pushed off to Zoom. Okay, so a little bit about Leadership Speak. This is the club that I founded in 2022. In February of 2022, the pandemic was still on. It launched and charted within 1 week. Now, it is all very hard work if you want to do that. I put in the hard work. I learned a lot about leadership and how to work effectively with teams. And I learned here because in the real world, there's very little leeway to learn. Mostly it is like we may have to make profits for this company. There's the bottom line. You'd better meet uh, the conditions that you were employed for, period. Right? There may be a little bit of training, but you really have to survive in the real world. Here, I can train myself, fall flat on my face, get up, and keep going. Leadership Speak started in February of 2022. Very hard work. And this is an advanced club. So we had 21 people from different community clubs all over the world come into Leadership Speak. Now, they were from community clubs. They were used to their own culture. Each one had their own culture they brought to Leadership Speak. And they thought this is how a club should run. And I said, no, this is an advanced club. The first year was a struggle to get the club off the ground. Even then, from February to June, we had presidents distinguished, right? And then from July, the very first full year, we were one of the top 5 clubs. And last year we were the top club, and this year we are the top club in quality, membership, and education awards. It's all on the dashboard. You can have a look at it later on if you want to find out more about Leadership Speak. And if you want to be a member and discover for yourself how the club is actually run from inside, by all means, please come and join us. We will be posting a link at the end for feedback form. And if you want to be a member, please fill that in as well. Now, today, what I want to talk about is the 3 states of leadership. It's a framework that I have used in all the clubs that have succeeded. And the failure is that we don't tend to understand these 3 levels of leadership. And these 3 levels of leadership are operational, strategic, and legacy. All right. These are the 3 levels of leadership that I will be talking about. There's a lot of information. My time is restricted because after I've spoken, Tony will come and help you understand rules about Toastmasters that actually help you springboard to greater heights. I find a lot of clubs make up rules because they don't know the club constitution well, they don't know the protocols well, and so they make up the rules in the head. I go to clubs and they say, no, we can't do that, we can't do this, you mustn't do that. And if you come to Leadership Speak, it's like an open playing ground. We can do anything we want within the realm of the protocols and the club constitution, what the Toastmasters International says. So watch out for Tony. After I presented, he will be coming in just after an hour of my speaking. Sometimes I tend to keep going on and on. So I hope to finish on time. If not, I'll take a little bit more time. But I know Aswat is already cursing me, right? Don't go overtime. Okay, I'll try my best. Those of you who are on YouTube, if you go and subscribe to YouTube later on, right, and watch the replay, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It really helps me put out more material because, as you know, last week I put out material that was not on Zoom. It was totally on YouTube live streamed. So if you subscribe to the channel, I'll be putting out a lot of material this year. And the reason being, this is my final year in Toastmasters International. My business has grown so big that I really need to move and really pay attention to my business. Because of the level of commitment that I have in Toastmasters, it takes up a lot of time. I hardly get to sleep. My business and running a huge club like Leadership Speak. This year we have a great executive team. They have taken over, and I'm so grateful. So let's have a look, ladies and gentlemen. the 3 levels of leadership. The very bottom one is, of course, the operational leadership. Right? From time to time, I'll switch off my video so you can see everything on the screen. All right, so let's see. Oops, wrong button. There we go. Oh, there we go. So I've switched off my video just for a second so you can see the whole screen there. So, the operational leadership is all about meeting activities, assigning roles, club administration, right? And the maintenance of DCP points. And do you plan your DCP points? Do you create a club success plan? And the club success plan is, of course, all strategic. A lot of clubs don't even do that. A lot of clubs don't engage in a strategic plan, which is a club success plan, which then flows into the distinguished points. Okay. So it's planning for growth and development. It's all part of CSP, long-term planning, member engagement strategies, training officers, setting up the club the way it should be run, mentoring, and what is the club vision? Okay, and I'll talk about the club vision tomorrow. A club can have its own vision besides Toastmasters International Club mission. And then finally, legacy. Are you creating future leaders? And it's not only about future leaders, it's about the club culture that will sustain the club. What is the club culture? Quality and excellence and standards and service is part of legacy. I find that every year in some clubs, the new president comes in, the new executive comes in, and the old executive exits. They don't talk to each other. The new president and the new executive will create their own, this is how we're going to run this club. Every year it changes. That is a big no-no. That means the club will spiral out of control, which every year there's a new way of running the club. Develop future leaders who will sustain the club culture. This is what our club stands for. This is how we do our meetings. They have high quality, and we want to keep the quality intact into the future. That's what future leaders are all about, and that is succession planning. Establish traditions and club culture. There you go, and making a club a long-standing institution. Sustainability is key in legacy. Now, how many of you here put in enough time for all the 3? If you do, say yes. If you only do one, say operational, strategic, or legacy. Well, I mean, if you're not putting in time for operational, you won't be able to put in time for strategic or legacy anyways, okay? So interact with me in the chat. If you have a question, put up your hand and I will answer that, or put a question in the chat, but let's keep going. All right. Okay. Operational and a bit of strategic, operational. Okay, operational and strategic. Thank you for engaging with me. I like that. Only legacy. Without operational, you cannot do legacy. So if you're only focusing on legacy, I mean, how are you operating your club? Okay, so I take it that when you say legacy, that you're doing all the 3. Would that be correct, Martha? So there you go. Just again, mostly operational. Yes, I do understand that. Most clubs are focusing only on operational, and not only that, they're unable to even have a quality meeting. I visit a lot of clubs globally. I'm invited to a lot of clubs. I do a lot of presentations, and I notice and I watch clubs, the quality is low. Here's the thing. Now, I'm not trying to sell Leadership Speak to you, but here's the thing. If you come to Leadership Speak, when we have our meetings every Saturday morning, 9:30 a.m. Toronto, New York time, you will see 40, 50 people on the screen. They're not all members. We have about 20, 25 guests every week, and some of them have been coming for a long time. They cannot afford to be a dual member, right? Or they cannot afford to be in our club, so they just come and watch our meetings because of the high quality, right? And so We not only focus on operational, but quality comes from the strategic and legacy. Key. If you're only focusing on operational, and I see a lot of clubs not doing that well in just the quality, then you will not have engaged members. You will not create that experience that engages people, right? So when excellence is present, it creates excellence, creates experience, experience creates engagement. Excellence is, of course, when all these things present. It's like a pyramid. So if this is strong, the operational is very strong, and you have good quality meeting, you can start building this and then go to legacy. Okay. Every club that I've been in, some clubs, where I've been in, I've sort of managed to, if I've been an officer, it's been very difficult in some clubs to establish this. In Leadership Speak, we have really a very strong legacy team. We have about 59 members. This is how we ended last year, of which about 49 are engaged members, of which about 23 members want to make sure that the club will continue into the future, and they're in a special group called Legacy Leaders Group in the club. Then the others who just want to speak and become better leaders, and they will leave once they've learned enough of what they're doing to take it to their own clubs, which we are fine with. Okay, so what I'm saying is, if it doesn't begin here and you don't have a strong foundation, you cannot build anything else. You cannot build castles on an air, in the air, right? Okay, so now here's the thing. Leadership is like an iceberg, therefore. Operational is not really leadership. During a meeting, during a club meeting, what sort of leadership are you learning? Except being a good manager, perhaps if the club quality is good, during a meeting, you will learn how to start a meeting. What does the sergeant at arms do? What the Zoom master does if it is online? What does the Toastmaster of the day does, and how everything is introduced and how the meeting flows, right? Grammarian, R counter, quizmaster, timer, toast, table topics, speakers, evaluators, general evaluator, thought of the day, whatever else you have in there. You will learn how to sort of tick boxes, done, 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 done. That's mostly managerial in operational. You coming to a meeting, you don't learn too much about leadership except operations and how to tick boxes. So my contention is simply this. That leadership is like an iceberg. And what I mean by that is that meeting is really 10% of the effort, all right, which is operational. But there's 90% below the surface, like an iceberg. And that is strategic and a legacy. And if this is in place as well, then you will have great meetings, amazing meetings. People will flock to your club. Most clubs only focus on the operational that affects the service and excellence, the quality. Okay. So now that means, what are we really going to talk about for the rest of this today only is about quality and how each one of these affects your quality, right? First, meetings are 10%, right? So what does that mean? Operational is management, right? Is a precursor to excellence and engagement and service. But culture is created at the legacy, in the legacy, and it's future based, okay, which I've already mentioned before. So let's begin to look at a little bit more in detail as to how these three levels of leadership fall into place everywhere. Briefly, overall, meeting agenda, that's operational, mostly managerial in nature, it's daily execution. right? But does it model excellence? The excellence and the quality comes from other places. And of course, I hope that all of you are distinguished. Some of you send me a private message. Oh, we are select distinguished after so many years. I know a lot of Toastmasters, and I go to the clubs regularly. So they've sent me messages saying, this year we've done it. Select distinguished. Congratulations if you are distinguished, select distinguished. Your next level should be to be president's distinguished 10 out of 10. Leadership Speak always gets the 10 points by November. That is our focus. That's our goal. The rest of the thing that we work on for the rest of the year is the club success plan. And how can we be very successful? Which means how are we serving our members? So here's what happens in between the meetings. Very briefly, in the strategic, again, it's all about growth, sustainability, connection. This is key. If you don't know your members well, and if your relationship is only transactional and not genuine connection, it'll be very difficult to grow any club. This is one of the biggest things that's missing in all clubs. Genuine connection. In my club, if you come, I know each and every member. There's 59 of them. I know everything about every member. Most clubs, you are lucky, you have 20 members on average to 30. Some of you do have, of course, 15, 12 members. That's why you're here. Whatever the number of members, connection is key. Are you connected to your members? Is it relational or is it transactional? Come to the meeting, take a role is all transactional. Connection is all about, you did a great role last week, or we'd love to have you take on the role of grammarian this week. Could you please do that? I mean, you seem to speak well, you'll do very well. Do you need a mentor? This relationship, you're helping people to rise above, right? We'll talk a lot about that as well later on, tomorrow, of course. Is there a mentorship program in place, which is all to do with strategic? Right? During a meeting, you can't set up mentors. It has to be outside of the mentor, which means what? Leadership is learned in between the meetings. Leadership happens in between the meetings. 90% of the effort is in between the meetings, not during the meeting, or just before the meeting ends. You know, the Toastmaster of the day will say, who's going to take a role next week? And then they forget everything. In my club, we don't even do that. Roles are allocated 3-4 weeks in advance. Right? It's the way we have created our club. Culture. And of course, club success plan is very different than DCP points. And then the legacy, which is its long-term impact, again, succession, club culture, and continuity. Will it continue into the future? All right. So here are the main points that make a club a high-quality meeting. The main elements in a club. And I'll just list out all the 7. No, there are about 8 or 9. I forget. Yeah, they are here anyways. One is precision and planning and preparation. And that is, of course, all operational mostly and strategic. Okay. So if you said we only operate at the operational level, then if you look at the club quality, you will find that a lot of strategic is missing. Flawless execution. What's that? Operational, of course, totally how a meeting is run. That's operational. Flawless execution. But how are these people trained before they come on? Do you plan? Do you prepare? And do you practice before you come on? Whether it's for the grammarian role or for speaker role or whatever role it is that you're playing. If it's for the first time, do you have mentors therefore, right? Is there a mentorship program? Is there a training program available? 3, engaged members and energized audience. There's all a function of strategic and legacy. Excellence in delivery is all operational and legacy. This is all in your handout. So if you don't catch this as I go very fast through some of it, don't worry. Catch the most salient points as we talk and ask questions. That is the most important thing today. you asking questions. All the notes will be available for you. All right. The culture signature is at the legacy level, meaningful moments and takeaways, strategic and legacy, like how did we do in this particular meeting, right? Post-meeting follow-up. Do you guys have a post-meeting follow-up? The club that I started before Leadership Speak, I mean, I not started, I coached the club. It had only 2 active members to become 53 members within a year and a half, and one of the top 5 clubs. We used to have intense post-meeting follow-up every meeting. As soon as the meeting ended and all the guests and the members had gone, the executive team and the committee members would get together and break down as to exactly what we did and where we could improve every meeting. So even that club, which was a community club, thrived because of that. All right. And there's of course also to do with strategy, strategic. How many of you do here have a post-meeting follow-up of how can we improve besides the GE's remarks, right? And sometimes the GE has their own opinion, especially if it's a newer member or a member that has been a member of another club for a long time and they come to your club and then now they've joined your club. They have a different opinion or they have been exposed to a different culture and now they are in your club. And they might give you some opinion, but do you really follow up and say, this is the club culture, this is what we really need to do to improve so that the next time around we will get better? I bet 90% of the clubs don't do that. 99% of the clubs don't do this, right? And it's all these things are these are all leadership skills. Anything that is outside of operational, right? Strategic, legacy, right? Legacy, strategic. Can you see that? All that written there? It is all to do with learning to be a good leader. The more time you spend doing this, you'll become a better leader. Today, because of Toastmasters, I can lead much better outside in the real world. Today, because of Toastmasters, and especially over the past 4 years when I've done these big events and created Leadership Speak, I've become a much better coach. And I've been coaching for 30 years. I've become a much better coach. This is why I have become a much better coach. I'm learning to be my goal, of course, and everybody's goal is different, but I'm learning to be a very good top-notch coach and a speaker outside in the real world and a trainer to be one of the top-notch globally. And so this is what I'm doing is I'm training, and I'm training today for myself as hopefully I introduce this to you, right? So it is a two-way street. So when you are engaging in your club and doing all these things, you're not volunteering. Cancel the word volunteer. I'm volunteering because nobody else said this. Every time you stand up to do something, I'm avoiding the word help and volunteer. Every time you stand up to do something, do it from a place of service and contribution. And what will I learn from here? And what skills am I bringing? And what do I really want to learn? You're not a volunteer in Toastmasters. You're not just assisting and helping. But I don't need that in my club, and I hope you don't need that in your clubs or in your districts anywhere else. Do you see what I mean? When you say I'm serving, contributing, and what will I learn, it's a different way of looking. It's a different mindset. Most people don't engage in this because it takes too much time, or I don't have the time, or I'm very busy. All the excuses, it means I don't want to learn. The only reason why I'm in Toastmasters is I'm paying my $60 every 6 months, $60 to learn by serving and contributing and interacting and connecting with human beings relationally, not transactionally, and I've grown to be a much better human being and a much better coach and a much better leader at Toastmasters for $60 every 6 months. Plus, of course, whatever the club charges. Return on investment is huge, huge, big. Aswati, are there any burning questions so far?
There are a lot of comments, but I don't see any question.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, as I'm talking, I will not be able to read all the comments, but please keep going with the comments. I will read them later. And of course, it's for everybody else as well. Hannah, did you post the handouts? Because people are asking if they may have arrived late. I don't know, because if they arrived late, they cannot get handouts.
Yes, I have.
Can you post them again? Because if you've been at the meeting right from the start, that means the handouts were posted. If you scroll up, I can see them being posted. But Hannah, just for the benefit of some people, say, where is the handouts? Well, post them again, Hannah, for them. Let's do that. Okay, so now let's move ahead and now look at each one of these individually. And please ask questions. Please raise your hand if you have to. Okay. Aswati, you have your hand up?
Yeah, we have a question. In fact, we have two questions. One is from Kim Thin Jong. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So the question is, so we have to remind all those people of why they joined Toastmasters and what they can learn more. So he's asking about the busy people.
Absolutely. In fact, if you want to join Leadership Speak, we will not give you a membership application form first. We'll give you a Google form. It's called the eligibility form. And we will ask you in that form, why do you want to join Leadership Speak? What are your goals? Where are you at? Most clubs don't want to ask that, oh, we have a member, please let's get him in quickly. We don't do that. We have a mindset of abundance and we do ask the right questions. Every year in July, and as members join through the year, we ask them, what is your goal in Toastmasters? What is your goal outside in the real world? And can you connect the dots between your goal in Toastmasters to the goal outside in the real world? Which is what Rosie Rana is going to talk about tomorrow. If you're early, you'll get in the room, you'll get to the handouts tomorrow. So be sure to come here tomorrow for that. So how to connect dots from your journey in Toastmasters to the journey outside in the real world. Okay, so that's what it is, and you have to remind people, you have to create a community of people, club champions who really do want to learn this first. So they'll be like, if you have like 10 members, for example, your club has 10 members, find 2 or 3 members at least. Maybe you're the only one. The club that I coached, who had 2 active members and me as the coach, I did everything at first because those 2 members were like helpless and frozen, right? And I had to create a lot of stuff and get things done. That's tomorrow. Do we have to remind people? Yes, we do. And how do we create champions? How do you have, when you have only 2 active members, how do you grow it to 53 members in one of the top 5 clubs globally? Share it with you tomorrow. There's a case study from all this that we are talking about. Okay, so thank you very much for that question, Kim Thin Jong. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Okay. So Hannah, if you can post the notes, because we are Harold Usher. Hi, Harold. Thanks for being here. I know Harold for many, many years. Many years. So Harold, if you can post those notes again. If you've been in this group, in this Zoom room from the start, just scroll up. But if you've just entered somehow because somebody left, you only have capacity of 100, you just came in, they'll be posted soon again.
I have posted the 2 PDF files.
Okay, thank you. So because we don't want to post these notes over and over, if you've just entered the room, just say, I've entered the room now, because somebody left and there was a space you came in. I don't know why anyone would want to leave. They probably left because they had a weak connection, hopefully. Okay. All right. So let's keep going, because as you can see, I'm already running out of time. So now let's have a look. Precision in planning and preparation, which is operational and strategic. What do I mean by that? Which means, of course, it's all operational to begin with. Agenda is finalized early with clear role assignments. You all know that. I know that. Why am I saying this? Because over and over and over and over again. I visit clubs and this is not done. In fact, one of the most prominent clubs where I was a member many years ago and I went to visit them is a physical meeting not far from my home, and they didn't have this ready, or they didn't know who was on the agenda, or and so on. I was invited to another club recently and they still didn't know this at the start of the meeting. The grammarian stood up and said, "I'm speaking today and I didn't know I had a grammarian role today." Okay. And the only reason why I was invited to go was the club is suffering. All right. And so I know why clubs are suffering. Leadership Speak, or the clubs that I've been in, when I've been there, we make sure that the roles are assigned 2 weeks in advance. We are not at the end of the meeting saying, who will take on a role? Just 2 months ago, I went to an advanced club. They had 10, 12 members and they wanted to increase the membership. And so they said, make a 20-minute presentation. In 20 minutes, I can't really teach much. But at the end of the meeting, they admitted that they have difficulty in filling in their roles. And he says he doesn't know how to connect with his members. And at the end of the meeting, says, please, if you want to take a role, please take a role. You know, he was almost begging. That was the VP of Education. He was begging, right? And off they went. So I know this is a big thing. I mean, if you say you are in an advanced club, especially, right, then you should act like an advanced club. Leadership Speak is an advanced club, right? Come and visit and you'll find out, okay? I'm not trying to sell the club. You don't have to be a member. But what I'm saying is 3 weeks in advance, you go, we use Easy Speak, go on Easy Speak, you will see it all assigned out. And so the meeting that's happening this coming Saturday, you'll see it full, filled, everyone's accepted the role, and so on. How do we do this? We have members from 30 countries from all over the world. So we are not even local, different time zones. It's like we have 15 different time zones. The club president has to be in the meeting until past midnight his time, because we are in Ontario, Canada. He's in Singapore. Sometimes he's way past time. He has to be. He's the club president this year. Holmes, if you're here, thank you. So this is very, very important, is when the quality gets better and you have club champions, you can begin to do this, okay? Finalize clearly. Engage with the members. Tell them you want to take on a role a week before at least. For if you have a club of 10 members, 8 members, a week before at least, okay? And get the members engaged and ask them, what do you need from the education program? How can we raise you to the next level? Why are you here? What are you here to learn? Please remind them, yes, indeed. How can I help you get to your goal? If you are goal-oriented, you'll be able to ask that question much easier. Walk the talk. I'm giving away tomorrow's presentation. Walk the talk. When you walk the talk and people see you do what is supposed to be done, they will follow through. You speak regularly, you are on the agenda, you know exactly what you're doing, people will follow suit. Monkey see, monkey do. Unfortunately, that's the quote, but you know what I mean. Toastmaster see, Toastmaster do. Mentorship, the invisible mentorship. People will follow your footsteps. If you're not showing quality, your members will not show quality. If you don't show excellence, membership will not show excellence. Begins with you, of our own mindset, right? Would you agree? Boom, this one here, operational, right at the beginning, bottom layer. All role players are prepared and trained. Do you have a mentorship program in place? It begins with you. Are you a mentor? Of course, if you're a brand new member and you're attending today, okay, then get a mentor from your club. If not, go to your area. Visit clubs in your area. There's a lot of clubs that still meet on Zoom from all over the world, go visit them and see. Can you become my mentor? Can I ask you a question? Here's the thing. Even if your club is meeting physically, which most clubs are now, you can meet your members on Zoom, and Zoom is free for 40 minutes. Let's get together and let's see what our roles are this coming week. You don't have to now drive to a coffee place anymore like we used to. Remember, in between the meetings, if you had a brand new member, oh, okay, let's meet. Okay, and I don't know, tomorrow is the meeting. Can we meet tonight? I will have about 5 minutes. Let's go to this coffee place, right? Or after the meeting, you're rushed, so you try to meet the person you're mentoring for a few minutes. Here's the thing that I found, however, in clubs that I've been in, and I walk into the room and I see a cluster of people standing over here, another cluster of people standing over there, the members, and they'll be talking to each other. And this cluster of people will never be talk to this cluster of people. They create their own little tiny group. I don't do that. I walk into the room and I go and greet every person around the room and I meet everyone. And within 30 seconds, I call it, I'm creating relationships with everyone. And if I have a big goal, and if I go around the room and I say, hey, what are you doing this week? How can I help you? And I see somebody sitting around all by themselves, I go to them and ask them, what are you doing today? I'm the grammarian. Oh, why are you sitting here? I'm a new member. Do you have a mentor? Yes. Did you contact your mentor? No. Don't expect a new member to contact you if you're a mentor. It doesn't work that way. If you go to work, you're a brand new employee, and they show you the desk, are you going to go around and say, can you please help me, guys? Or will they come to you and say, here's the training program, here's your buddy, here's somebody that will help you? Do they take you around for the next 2 or 3 days? You are not even expected to work much. Why at Toastmasters do we abandon new members or expect them to approach us? Do you see the logic? So I go to this person and say, you're the grammarian, you don't know, you haven't approached your mentor. Fine, that's fair enough. Did your mentor approach you? No. Oh my goodness, but you have a mentor, yes. That is a big problem, ladies and gentlemen, and I've seen it. That's the reason why I'm mentioning it here, that even though there's a mentorship program, the mentors are not following up. They're too busy. They don't, which means they don't learn how to be strategic and how to help people and serve and contribute and learn something. When you're helping somebody become better, when you're serving and contributing to somebody to become better, that's the right words, you become better yourself when you're teaching somebody. I have taught so many people how to speak, how to be a leader. Informally, I've not been assigned to be a mentor. And years ago, I used to have like 12, 13, 14 people say, Brahm, you be my mentor because nobody else is paying attention to me. I used to have that many people because nobody was helping them be prepared and trained before the meeting. I learned tremendous amount by being a mentor in the club. Today, I can walk blindfolded into any position in any club, anywhere, and do a role. But then I've been around for 29 years, fair enough, okay? So what do I tell that person who's sitting there, the grammarian? So, okay, you didn't contact your mentor, fair enough, but your mentor didn't contact you. I walk over to the nearest member and say, who is a bit more advanced in their journey in Toastmasters, and say, can you please sit next to this person and help them with the grammarian role? Meeting is about to start. This should have been done a week before. Now, in a Zoom meeting, that's not going to be possible. And therefore, a lot of clubs that are on Zoom and have been on Zoom and through the pandemic have been on Zoom have suffered tremendously and have lost members. That's your answer there right away. For those of you who were wondering, during the pandemic, we lost membership. That was one of the main reasons. People were abandoned. They felt lonely. They felt disconnected. People were busy with their own lives to connect with other human beings. It all became transactional. The only reason why that club of 2 members became 53 is purely connection and helping people to get to the next level. I'll be sharing that in detail tomorrow, what that means. Never abandon your members, new or old. Always ask, are you prepared? How can I help you? How can I serve and contribute is the right word, okay? Not help. Those things sort of creep into our vocabulary, right? How can I serve and contribute to you? How can I support you? How can I take care of this for you? What do you need from me? You will hear that in my club from all members to each other. That is the culture we've created, right? Sustainability. So that is what will get your club to succeed. Those simple things. Forget everything else I'm going to say today. Does that make sense? Aswati, as club growth director, just gone by, what do you think?
Yes, 100%.
You're just going to agree with me?
Yes.
I'm just pulling your leg. Yes, of course. Definitely. Are speakers confirmed? Do they know what they're doing? Are they going to take the feedback they received the last time into the next time, in the next speech, right? Are they ready? Did they plan? Did they prepare? Or as I have been as guilty when I was a new member, it's my turn to speak today. I come into the room and I start writing my speech. Have you done that? I have done that. This presentation was created a long time ago. And we train speakers. Even though our club meetings on Saturdays, we meet on Tuesdays and we give detailed feedback and round robin evaluations every week on Tuesday, regardless. To any member, it's open. Any member can walk in. It's only open for members. As a guest, you cannot join those meetings. We do that. And for the training part, I forgot. Every Thursday before the Saturday meeting, they have a trainer assigned. The trainer has already trained them. Even if you're a past district director and you're brand new to leadership speak, you'll be assigned a trainer. And you'll be trained for a role like the grammarian role, because we do things our way. You may have learned that in your community club or in any other club to do it a certain way. We do it differently. So you'll have to be retrained, reculturalized in our club, because our culture is different. You have got to get our culture if you want to be in leadership speak. You'll have to start with the grammarian role or the timer role to begin with, and learn how that is, and you begin to learn the culture that way. So then you step up and further up, then you do your speech, and then you do an education speech. We have an education speech every week, and so on and so forth. So I won't describe too much about the leadership speak dynamics, but this is done way ahead in time. Hannah, is that right? Yep, correct. If, like, we are on Zoom. So our Zoom is open half an hour before. Most of the guests arrive about 10 minutes before the meeting starts. So the first 20 minutes, well, we just said the first 15 minutes, we give it to our members. If they want to check the technology there, whatever it is, they come earlier. We always open half an hour early to come and check everything out. If they are in a live physical meeting, arrive early. The sergeant at arms needs to open the room and make sure all the tables and chairs are placed correctly, and the whole room is put together at least half an hour before for in a physical meeting. Always have insisted on that whichever club I've been in. So when the members walk in, when the guests walk in, everything is laid out, and members can go check the technology, or if they have a PowerPoint presentation or whatever it is, or they have some props or whatever it is they need to check. do it before the main thrust of guest arrives, because when the guests arrive, you don't want to see members running around trying to practice either on Zoom or in physical. You want the members to be present for the guests and to greet each other and to network, not stand in clusters, right? Here and a cluster over there. I've challenged you, if you're in a physical meeting, walk into the room and greet everyone, whether you're 5 members or 20 members or whatever it is. If you're on Zoom, this is what we do. We have a greeter assigned every week, and the greeter will let you into the room and will greet you. Even if members have been talking, they will be told, please, we have a guest. And the members will have to stop talking. It doesn't matter if they're in the middle of a sentence, and the guest will be greeted. The thing is, why I'm smiling is I'm talking about tomorrow, what I'm going to talk about tomorrow now. I get carried away. The guest should be greeted immediately. Okay. A great meeting begins long before the opening gavel. I see my green light has gone on. So there should be flawless execution, which is again operational. It's all very simple. I'll just zoom through this one. It's very easy. Meeting starts on time. Smooth transitions between segments, which means people, Toastmaster of the day, the GE, and so on, should know what they are doing. The table topic master should know what they are doing, right? Your timekeeper, your evaluators should all know what they are doing, which means it all comes down to what did you do in between the meetings in terms of mentoring or training, etc. These days you can meet anyone, right, on Zoom. Strong MC or Toastmaster energy maintains the engagement. So how is the Toastmaster going to talk to, especially the guests? As soon as the meeting starts, the first thing is address the guests. Physical, Zoom, doesn't matter. Before you go into the theme of the day, dear guests, thank you so much for coming. We will introduce you shortly, or we'll introduce you at the end. It depends on how many guests you have. Whatever it is that you need to do, address the guests and say, thank you for coming. There's an agenda available. It's either in the chat on the Zoom or it's on the desk. Please, hopefully sit. Hopefully they're sitting next to a member to explain to them, right? You looked after your guests well. This all, the emceeing becomes much easier for the Toastmaster. It's not just a meeting, it's a production. That's what I say, because in my club, members from all over the world come visiting, and they come visiting every Saturday morning. I say it's better than watching Netflix, right? And we don't insist they only come for 3 meetings and become a member. So come as many times as you like. I don't mind. I mean, how are we going to police so many people on Zoom? Oh, you were here like 3, 4, we got 15, 20 guests. Aren't you? Would you be lucky to have that many guests, right? Everything that I'm sharing is what we do. Engaged members and energized audience. Strategic and legacy. This doesn't happen in the meeting at all. It's completely outside of the meeting, but it does define the whole club. Okay. Most of you said engaged members, right? Well, here we go. Members are fully present, not passive. So if you come into a meeting, put on your video if you are on Zoom. I go to a lot of meetings and most of the Zoom is off. Actually, let me see. Let me check. Aswati, how many people have their videos on and how many have them off here today? Approximately. Perhaps very few have them on, right?
Yes.
I guess, yeah.
Few.
Yeah. So it's all passive rather than being active here as well. I would suggest put on your videos, because I'm giving my heart and soul here. And please, I'd like to see your faces too. Okay. Guests feel welcomed, acknowledged, and included. I've already said that. How do you do that? Strategic and legacies. You are prepared. You train your greeter. You have a guest book, right? You have a guest package. It happens before. And what you're going to do is, when guests walk in and the guests, once they walk out, what are you going to do with the list of guests that you've noted down? So, audience reaction, applause reaction, chat, comments should be creating a momentum. Of course, chat comments is if you're on Zoom, the appropriate types of chat comments. In my Zoom, in Leadership Speak Zoom meeting, sometimes we have overzealous Toastmasters, and they will come in and they'll start advertising the club and the events. We delete that. We say, you came into my home, don't promote your home, come and see what we do here. We are not here to promote yourself. We are here, we put in very hard work to promote ourselves. So enjoy our meeting. Totally. So even today, if I may have missed it, but if my Zoom master or somebody on my team sees that you're posting about your own events, they'll be deleted, right? Fair enough, right? Because you're a guest here. So things like that. No energy leaks, always be on time. It all gets set up beforehand as why and what, right? Because a lot of time when the meeting starts, the Toastmaster of the day saying, oh, the grammarian isn't here, or the speaker isn't here, let's wait. It's 7 o'clock, they're all twiddling the thumb. The guests are there like wondering what the heck's going on. And they're saying, I don't like this. I'm not going to be coming here again. Because the energy leaks. To get that, a great meeting begins long before the opening gavel. That's why we've said it in strategic and legacy. The culture, the training, the mentoring, the expectation. This is how our club operates. You had better arrive, if you have a role, 15 minutes before. If you don't have a role, 5 minutes before. It's fair enough. Because the Toastmasters Club is not a club. We are not clubbing. We are a study group studying communication and leadership. Those who attended my many other trainings, you know, this is what I always say. It's not a club. We are not clubbing here. Club is just a legal name for the sort of organization that we have, so that we don't pay taxes, how we collect our dues, and now we remit our dues. We are not a club. We are not clubbing. We are a study group studying communication and leadership. If it is communication and leadership, how could you possibly, how dare you turn up late? Fair enough, right? We're not clubbing unless there's a reasonable reason for coming in late. Something happened, you came, there was traffic, whatever it was, sure. You know, there was an emergency you had to attend to, sure, of course. But those are rare, not a regular thing. Most clubs that I visited, it's a regular happening. How dare you be late? How dare you say I'm busy? We are in a study group. You had a role. You had a role of grammarian. You had a role of speaker. How dare you be late? We are studying together. I have my role to play. You have your role to play. How can we study communication and leadership? How dare you be late? Of course, we don't tell that to members, but you know what I mean. Do you get it? You're not clubbing. Okay. Excellence in delivery. The delivery part is the operational when you're actually delivering, but excellence is created in legacy, the culture, how the culture flows from year to year to year, and it's the same culture every year. It's not a different culture. I came here this year, it was a different culture. New executive comes in, it's a different culture. No. There has to be continuity. There's like, you know, Apple Inc., $3 trillion. Do you think that culture changes year to year in their quality and in the performance? Actually, recently it has dropped a little bit, right? But they make sure that this phone, even if you open the screws or you wrench open the back, you will see it perfectly laid out. Everything is like in excellent order inside that you'll never ever see. Excellence is everywhere. Inside, outside, it's in the DNA. It's in the DNA of the club. And so we train, because we are an advanced club, we tell our speakers, listen, the sort of speech that you do at a community club where you just began, where you had begun your speaking career or your speaking education, when you come to an advanced club, it is a slightly different way of speaking, more critical thinking. And we train them critical thinking. And it's always about the audience. Is there an audience takeaway in every speech? Because now you're in advanced club, you've done your first 3 levels, right? And if you're in other clubs too, if you're in a community club and you've done your first 3 levels, your speeches should begin to change a little bit, especially if you're doing your pathway the second time or the third time, or if you've been a Toastmaster for many years. Is there an audience takeaway? You're doing an icebreaker. Is there an audience takeaway? If you're doing it for the first time, for sure, maybe not. But if you've been a Toastmaster for a number of years, is there an audience takeaway? Are you learning something new? The evaluations have to be sharp, with feedback and no fluff. I liked your speech. I loved it. Oh, excellent. That's how all evaluators begin their evaluation. No. I know, right, Future Maya? You laugh. Exactly. That's laughable. You don't start a speech that way. Role players understand not just how, but why. Not how am I doing this, but why am I doing this? I'm in a study group. How can I raise the level of the study group to be world champions? Then I better be prepared well. This Grammarlian role that I'm doing, I'm going to do it with excellence because I'm building a cathedral, not just laying stones. That's a story for another day. Why am I doing this? What am I getting out of this? What am I learning? Why am I in Toastmasters? Just to play a role? Like, okay, it's a Grammarlian role. Okay, I'll play the role. Or am I learning something, however small the role is? Quality is the minimum standard. Growth is the outcome. Quality leads. That's excellence. Excellence creates an experience. Experience creates engagement. You should have answered quality as your number one thing. Right? For engaged members, quality, 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 excellence, service. What are the 4 core values of Toastmasters International? Integrity, respect, and then service, how to serve, and excellence, right? They're embedded in our core values. And it doesn't have to be in Toastmasters. Anywhere in your life, if you have integrity, respect, you're serving at your work and contributing, and you do it with excellence, what's going to happen to your career? Why are you sloppy here? What will you do in your at work? You can't say, I'm at work, I do everything with excellence, and here well, because I don't have time, I just walk in. I don't believe that. I think if you are in the workspace, I'm sure yours, whatever it is that you're doing here, you're also doing in the workplace, right? It's a reflection. You do the same thing everywhere. That's why I learn here a lot, because then I get better here, and I'm doing the same in my life too. The cultural signature should always be present everywhere, a strong sense of identity and purpose for the members. Doesn't matter if they want to stick around for a year, 2 years, or you've been there for 10 years. Some members have said, I've been here for 30 years. Sure, then your club should be great because you have an experience of 30 years behind you. Why should your club have only 10 members or 20 members? Shouldn't they have at least 25 to 30 members, which is a good size club? I don't want you to be, of course, 50 members. You don't have to be. There's a strong sense of identity and a purpose to why am I here? Why this club? Why this time? That is purpose. I'm learning and I'm serving and I'm contributing and I'm growing. Growth mindset. That was a live stream that I did last week. It's there on YouTube. Go and watch it. The growth mindset, how to develop a learning mindset in Toastmasters. It's a big stumbling block. We don't have that. which will be for another day. Members speak with conviction, confidence, and credibility. See how I've learned to do that? I'm speaking, hopefully, with conviction, confidence, and credibility right now. And if I'm not, put it in the chat. If I am, put it in the chat. Feel free. I can improve right now. Live feedback. And I'm not joking. What do you think of this presentation? We'll give you a feedback form at the end, by the way. Traditions, rituals, or meeting elements that react the club's essence. Mamadou, thank you. Distraction. Okay, so the red light has gone on and I've got a bit more to go. So we'll go on a little bit more. Aswati, like I said, I might go a little bit over, but I've given a lot of information here. It's information that you didn't know, you knew it. I want you to put that into practice. I want you to show this to every Toastmaster everywhere. These next 2 days. Replay it. Play it everywhere. Tell your district directors. Tell your international presidents if they are part of your club. They visit our club often, by the way. And they say, we are a gold standard club. Because we do these things, right? It's easy. Once you are into the habit of doing it, it becomes easier. If you're operating at this level, sure, to get to that level needs energy. But once you're at this level and you're used to this level, in terms of quality, I don't mean superior, just the quality level, then this becomes the normal. You don't have to put an extra effort. It just is the normal thing you do. It's normalized. Right now, this is normalized, which is not good. Service and excellence are visible in every detail. Every detail. Ask my club. Every tiny detail, nothing escapes anybody's eye. We are always watching what's going on here. And just to maintain the culture, not to beat down people, not to say, oh, okay, somebody's watching me. No, it's like, okay, I didn't do this well. I'll correct it, period. Let's keep going. It's like that. That's what we mean by it's visible in every detail, because we don't punish people. We sort of say, okay, you've done something here. How can we improve? Sure, let me just take care of it, period. No stories, nothing, no excuses, no like, oh, John did this and Mary did that, and therefore I had to do this. No, we just say, let me just go correct it, period, and keep going. That's a high-performing team. Remember, guests may forget the speech, they may forget your meeting, but they will never forget the culture. That's why we have so many guests visit our club every week, because of the meeting quality and how they're greeted and how they're treated in an online club. Aswati, are there any questions?
Yes, we do have questions. These are related to mentoring.
Sure, let's
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah, the first question is by Shehla Naeem. The question is, if a guest continues attending but does not register, how should I handle the situation?
That's fine. As far as I'm concerned, okay, I'm telling you my point of view. If they don't register, don't register. Why is this not a problem with me? Let me tell you simply this, because my club is a high quality. Any club that I've been with has a high quality. A few years ago, this is going back to, let me see, 2019, the VP of membership resigned because she had to go and do an MBA program and she wasn't prepared for that. But they said on Saturdays or on Fridays, whatever the day the meeting was, they said, you have to study, you have to be in this study group, whatever they were doing. And she said, I can't do the VP of membership. I put up my hand, I said, I'll do the VP of membership. I would stand at the guest. I would stand at the door. The guest would walk in. I would shake their hand. And I say, please sign in the guest book. Sometimes I would say, no. I said, fine, great, have a seat. I had total belief that the club excels at what they do, at what we do in that club that I was in. I was the founder of that club, by the way. I'm not anymore with that club currently. And so I would say to any guest, here's the agenda. have a look at it. The meeting will follow exactly according to the agenda, whether they sign in the guest book or not. At the end of the meeting, I would say, did you follow the agenda? Did you look at the meeting? Is this something that you really liked? Is there something that you would love to be engaged in? Sign up today. You'll be on the agenda next week, and I'll personally mentor you between now and next week to get on and with a small role. That's my promise. Within 3-4 months, I had 16 members sign in. The club executive team said, please, Brahm, we can't take in so many members. We are just too many in a short period of time. Whether the members sign in the guest book or not, so come back. I had total belief that they would sign up because the quality of the meeting was high, so I have no problem. Don't want to sign in? Don't sign in. It's your loss. You want to go to another club nearby? Go. Not a problem. But if you are here and you see a high quality meeting, and I can put you on the agenda next week, and you'll be mentored in between now and next week, people will sign up. I have proven track record. Sounds fair? Don't be afraid of anyone not signing in. Don't be afraid that they may not become a member after 3 times. Please come back. It's okay. You can't be a member now. Just come back. I don't mind. Because I know my high quality is why they want to come back. And maybe it's the financial issue. Maybe it's some other issue. It's the timing issue, whatever. And so, but eventually they will become a member. And that's why we have so many members. In any club that I have been in, membership has just grown. It is a mindset, right? It's how you interact with guests and members. Is it transactional or is it relational? Are you connecting, and a genuine connection, a genuine interest in human beings, creating the rapport genuinely? Or is it like, I hope this guest becomes a member. Here, oh, welcome. Oh, here's an agenda. And then later on, oh, 2 guests come in, I'll follow up with them. And then when I talk to these people, the clubs that are suffering, and I'm coaching them, and they say, oh, hey, they give me a list. Oh, 1 member came in, and I hope they'll come in next week, and maybe we might have them as a member. We don't even talk like that in my club. Like, 1 member came in, hopefully they'll join in. It's like, I don't care how many members come in, if they just join or not join, they will join eventually. So not all of them, a lot of them will join. Quality wins hands down. Once you have quality in place, you don't have to worry about anything else. For sure, of course, follow up with the guests, have a guest package, and so on, if that helps you. We don't have a guest package. Never had a guest package in the clubs that I've been in. Yet the membership has even risen. But I suggest you do follow guest package. You may not have that great rapport with people currently because you're learning, and it's okay. I wasn't that great when I first started in Toastmasters. I was like a dummy. Yeah, just like a lot of people. I was brand new, but I had learned through engagement. And so learn very quickly through engagement. The more you engage you are, the faster you will learn. Okay, let me keep going here because the timer has been read for a while. So 2 more meaningful moments and takeaway. This is actually very easy. I'll go just swim through this. It's all strategic, and like I said, what are the great things that happen in this meeting? What are the great things we need to happen in the next meeting? Each meeting has a theme and a message that lands. In the clubs that I've been in recently, in the past 5, 6, 7 years, the theme is always around leadership or communication. It's not about, oh, it's spring day or summer day or it's a rainy day, God knows. And then the Toastmaster day opens the meeting with, oh, it is spring day and it's nice, and might say a poem. What are you learning from that? Nothing. But if it is a theme that has to do with leadership, self-directed leadership, what does it mean? And the Toastmaster today speaks for 3 minutes on what is a self-directed leader, what does it mean to Toastmasters, and what does it mean for our clubs, for real life in the real world, and what are we learning here that we can connect the dots outside. And other clubs, we have had communication, like the pose, vocal variety as a theme. And everybody, whoever stands up to speak, they have eye contact or vocal variety, whatever the theme is. They are learning through the theme. It's a Tulip Day or Sunflower Day or Girl Guides Cookie Day? What are we learning from it? Nothing. Do you see what I mean? Do you see how the clubs that I've been in grow? This, right? So members live inspired, challenged, and transformed. There's a clear call to grow, serve, and reflect in our meetings, and the guests just kept coming back. We don't just run meetings, we deliver leadership moments. Starts with the theme, ends with the theme. There's a thought of the day that's around the theme. We have an education speaker that speaks for 20 minutes on the theme every week. 20 minutes. Plus the Toastmaster of the day speaks for 3 or 4 minutes on the theme, and the grammarian has the word of the day according to the theme. Runs throughout the meeting. People are turned way on, like, what the heck is going on here? I'm learning so much. Last week we had ethical leadership. By the way, Tony is going to speak in the next 5-10 minutes. Tony is going to come on and talk about ethics, rules, and all that you really need to know to succeed as a club. So hang on, Tony, you're coming on soon. Post-meeting follow-up, strategic. Feedback is gathered. What is the feedback for this meeting? How can we improve our meetings? Right? We have mentioned this. We recognize our speakers and our evaluators, and we celebrate our speakers and evaluators. We put that in a WhatsApp group. We are an online group from 30 different countries. So the only way to communicate effectively is put it in WhatsApp. Even if you are a physical meeting locally, have a WhatsApp group so that you are able to connect and communicate relationally, not transactionally. WhatsApp is a great tool for that. Do that. Don't resist WhatsApp. And it's one of the top popular app in the Western world and around most of the world to communicate and connect. Not transactionally, relationally. Gaps are noted for improvement in our WhatsApp group, and new members and guests are engaged very, very quickly. Very quickly. As soon as a member joins, our agenda has been prepared for the next 2-3 weeks. So a new member will not be able to get on the agenda for at least 2 weeks. If we find that there's a more experienced member doing a grammarian role or timer role, we'll take them out and say, we have a new member, we'll have to put them in. Okay? That's what we do. And our members are very agreeable. No, I just want to do the timer's role. Experienced members don't want to do that unless, of course, they're called forth to serve and contribute. It's for the newer members, the smaller roles, the functionary roles, so they can get their feet wet in the club culture. Get their feet wet in the club culture. Important. The meeting ends, but leadership continues throughout. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. So here are the 7 points. Precision in planning, operational and strategic. Flawless execution is operational. Engaged members is energized and audience, and so on. Excellence in delivery is operational and legacy. Culture and signature, and so on, is legacy. Okay. So here it is. Here's the summary with legacy as, of course, the most important thing is long-term impact, succession planning. The culture is maintained here, real connections, and treating each other as human beings, and creating rapport, and treating each other as if it's not a transaction, but it's relational. I'm losing my words here. Continuity is important. Legacy is the key thing. Okay, meeting is 10% of the effort. 90% is down here in how your club becomes successful. This year, every club is required to do a club success plan. I've seen posts in Facebook, in Toastmasters International group. People say, they want a club success plan. What the heck do they mean? I'll just fill in any bullshit from experienced members because they don't want to do a club success plan. And then it shows when somebody asks me why a club's suffering. Toastmasters International cannot make you do anything. You can just request saying, here are the things. If you want to earn DCP points and become distinguished, do the club success plan. This year it's mandatory. Are you going to do it? My club does it every year. We are going to do it, of course. We don't have to be told. We know how important it is to do a club success plan, but people resist that. How many of you are resisted that when you first saw this? Oh, club success plan, but it has been there every year. So this year they made it mandatory. Just a fun diagram that I created. So this is ground level operational, right? Mid-level and top level future, okay? Meetings, DCP points, CSP points, legacy, and all. This is just fun thing. In summary, ladies and gentlemen, the three things: operational, strategic, and legacy. This is key. We've discussed that in detail. You knew it, but you haven't been practicing it. That's the only thing is I cannot make you practice. I cannot hold your hand and do it. Will you do it? Is the thing that I want to hear. Next tomorrow, I'll go through case studies. And then, even though this is a 2-day affair, every week I'll be putting out videos on the YouTube channel. If you guys wish, I can do them live on Zoom once a week, once a month. You tell me, I'm here to serve. This is my final year in Toastmasters because my business is taking up too much time and I've learned enough in Toastmasters. It's time for me to exit at the end of September of 2026. That's my goal. I've reinvented myself so many times in Toastmasters. Now I just want to give as much as I can before I exit. I can come to your club. I can come to your area, division, district, you name it. I'll be there. Just ask. Feedback form is coming up. Hannah, can you put in the feedback form? And please, if you're on YouTube right now and listening, subscribe to the channel. If you go later on, please subscribe to the channel, because then when I post videos and it's live streamed, you'll be notified. Click on the notification, you'll be notified, and you can go watch all the material you want to. This year, I'm going to just dump a tremendous amount of material. Plus, I have interviewed past international presidents in the past and world champions of public speaking and so many other events that I've done with other Toastmasters, high-profile Toastmasters. They will be put in that channel, okay? Because they were in a different channel with my business channel. It all got mixed up. So I'm just going to put it into this channel that was only meant for Toastmasters. So please subscribe to the channel. Thank you, Hannah, for that feedback form. Ladies and gentlemen, before Tony comes on, take a couple of minutes to fill in that form. I think I've done with my time. Tony is about to come in. I will hand back this to Aswati in a second, right? So fill in that feedback form, and tomorrow, case studies and exactly what I did. Not only the case study of what I did with a club that I coached from 2 members to 53, but I'll also talk about if you are a member of 10 members club, what could you do to coach it to become successful, let alone just 2 members, or creating a brand new club like Leadership Speak from launch to charter in a week, okay? Always hard work equates to I'm learning about leadership. It's not easy, of course, right? It's not easy. I agree. But what do you want to learn and what do you want to get out of it? Thank you very much. Aswati, all yours.